Welcome to Chemistry 1411, Gen Chem 1 for STEM majors. My name is Dr. Stevenson and I will be your instructor for this semester. Chemistry is indeed a fascinating subject, at least I think it is. Now, some of you may not be so interested, but your motivation might be, well, maybe I'll use a little bit of it in my job someday. And for others, you have no interest in the subject matter whatsoever. It's just a matter of, I have to take the course to get my degree, so I guess I'll take the course. Whatever your motivation, welcome to class. I suppose the place to begin talking about this course is where you are watching the video. The mere fact that you're here means you found your way to the website, and the welcome start here is the landing page, and you're watching this video. It's very important that you watch and understand the information on this video. It's going to explain how the course works, what resources are available, the dynamics of how everything ebb and flows together, and what the expectations are for being successful. And I'm actually going to reward those who watch the video by embedding into the introductory quiz that you all are going to take a few questions that the answer is going to be obvious because I'm going to tell you what the answers are during this video. As a matter of fact, we'll do the first one now. I'm going to ask you for the name of a color and you're going to write the word cyan, C-Y-A-N. There we go. You just got one question right on your introductory quiz. Let us now move to the information that's available to you, and that comes primarily in two locations: Blackboard setting, as well as, if you look at this course website, I have built an external website. That is, it's outside the Blackboard environment, and it has a tremendous amount of material, subject matter material that is available to you. But let's return now to the Blackboard environment and kind of work our way down that. Your instructor, a little bit about myself if you have an interest. The syllabus and the schedule. The syllabus can be found by clicking here. Next, let's look at two very useful links. The first is called a course Google Sheet calendar. And what's been done is on the external website, I put together a calendar that has all of the list of events for the entire semester for both the lecture and the lab. Lecture materials are shown in black, labs are shown in blue. The same or nearly the same information is provided in a schedule format. And let's look at the course schedule. It's just in tabular form as opposed to being in a spreadsheet. One more quick remark regarding the calendar. This calendar lists all events as I showed you, as opposed to the Blackboard calendar. And all the Blackboard calendar is going to show is a list of upcoming events, things that have pending due dates. Once a due date is passed, I remove it from the Blackboard calendar. So the Blackboard calendar, in short, serves a different purpose from the Google Sheet calendar. Next is the course content tab, and this is where the mother lode of information is stored. Basically, what's here is information on course policies, as well as all of the material, all of the subject matter, pardon me, for the lecture and the lab is posted. Just so you know ahead, each of these, for each module, the lecture and each lab component, I have made a shortcut over here. But just so you know, these are shortcuts to the information that lives inside of course content. Now, one thing that I wanted to show you special is a class sign-up sheet, and it too is found in the internet. It is a Google Sheet, and it is how we are going to communicate regarding exam scheduling and any other task that I ask you to do via announcement. So for example, if you are student A here, that's your name, I'm going to send out a notice that says you need to sign up for exam 1. And so student A will come up and select a time of day when you're going to take exam 1. And each student will do that, and that's how I'm going to keep up, and I'm going to know that you signed up for the exam and that you know when it is on the date and with the time. There may be other tasks that you use, what I'm calling the sign-up sheet as well. Anytime I ask you to do something or answer a question or perform an action, it will be with a green header. That's the sign-up sheet. And I believe I also have a sign-up sheet shortcut link there as well. So these are going to be very easy to find. Right, course information, policies, and resources. Again, there's a link to the companion website, and there's a bunch of links. I have those all over the place. But let's take up some of it that's pretty important. Are you signed up for the correct chemistry course? As a reminder, this is for STEM majors, science, technology, engineering, mathematics major. If you need intro chem, you need to probably drop this class and sign up for chemistry 1305. Generally speaking, Gen Chem 1 is about 3 times harder than Intro Chem. And I say that because we cover only about 1/3 of the amount of the same material in my intro as opposed to the general chemistry. So, by the way, what about a lab? This is Chemistry 1411, so the lab is included in this course. It's not an Intro Chem. Right, so how your grade is determined is explicitly stated here as well as in the syllabus, but I've drawn that out in a diagram so you can note it easily. So basically you're going to have 4 main components. You're going to have exam grades, you're going to have a lab grade, you will take a final exam, and then you're going to have homework that's given here and there. And those 4 components are going to be weighted, and then those are going to comprise the 100%. Now the lab grade itself, which is 25%, it in and of itself has 4 components shown here, and there's the weightings. So you can kind of see in a quick glance the grading scheme for the course. Textbook information that is given. Where do you get the textbook? You're pretty lucky on that. It's posted in the textbook tabs of the website, which is DrStephensonChemistry.com, which I sometimes just abbreviate DRS Chemistry. Okay, so the Dr. S website, if you go to textbooks, you can find your textbook. And the good news is it's basically all free. The textbook we're going to use as an open source, so you can download it if you like PDF. And there's 2 different places that post it live and online. So you have your textbook completely from minute 1 of this course. And also you can thank Angelina College. They've now included the lab manual in the course. That's a PDF file. You will download that within the Blackboard website. So textbooks, no big deal. Nothing to do from the bookstore, nothing. It's already there. Right. Required technologies. Of course, this is an internet class. You have to have all of the usual things. There are a few that I need to make sure that you understand, which is you must be able to use Chrome with an HonorLock browser, and you must have a working video and working audio for any exam. You're not going to get to take an exam, and you're not going to get credit for it without those 3 things. If you do not have the software or hardware, you cannot take this class. It is required technologies. Okay, the other thing that is required is you're going to, especially for the lab, you're going to upload an enormous amount of material. You're going to look at some videos, you're going to do some calculations, you're going to fill out a report form, and you're going to upload that. It's very specific how it's got to be uploaded. There are very stringent requirements for that. And you're going to have to obey those stringent requirements. And so if you go to the blogs page, you will see something called scanning documents. Yes, and it's right there. You have to have the capabilities to scan material into PDF formats and then to upload that as single documents. And I have a lot of resources here. There are specifications about what the scan has to look like. So if you're either not willing or able to take something and professionally put it in PDF form and upload it, it's going to cost you dearly on your grade, because that is a requirement. Professional uploads of your work. Right. Okay. And again, all this is explained explicitly on the web page. Right. Okay. So let's go back. Those are the two big hardware, software, and performance requirements that you have to have. Communications methods, probably we're going to, because it's internet, it'll be mostly through email. We may occasionally Google Meet or Blackboard Collaborate. And so all of that is available. And by the way, my office hours, again, back to the web page, my office hours are posted here already for the semester. Those are my walk-in. Let's talk about that now. We can meet virtually if we need to, right? And one of the really fortunate things for this semester is Darcy Corcoran is going to tutor, and she's off-site, and she's going to be available for web tutoring quite a broad selection of times. And there's her email. There's also AC Tutoring has tutoring services. And then there's a new service called Tutor Me, which is live tutoring that you can access 24/7. You get a live tutor and you can access that through here. So there are a lot of live resources. In addition to my office hours, again, there's Darcy. And in addition to Darcy, there is just the general AC tutoring. And in addition to that, there's Tutor Me, which is 24/7 online tutoring through a third party. So a tremendous amount of tutoring resources, never available to that extent before this semester, actually. Let's see. Right, and you can read through the rest of that. So that's course information and policies. We just went through that. We've gone through that. There is where you download course content. There is where you get your lab manual, download it there. And then everything else below we're going to discuss later is the course content. Okay, let's see. Collaborate if we need to. I normally prefer Google Meet, but in case Darcy or someone wants to meet via Blackboard Collaborate, you merely punch that button. Discussion board. Oh, I wish you'd do this. Is come into this and basically do a self description and just kind of let us know who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself. Just put your name in the title and then start talking about yourself. I am a PhD who started out in Jasper, Texas. Okay, there we go. And then, write that up and submit it, and it'll kind of show up. Right. Now, I guess I got to go back and delete that. Okay. Okay, discussion board. Groups. We will have a group project later, especially in the lab. It's required by the college. And so later in the semester, I will make announcements, but you will show up in a group about halfway through the semester. I will send an announcement, and then you will meet your group members and coordinate through this groups tab. Blackboard calendar, we've already talked about that. That is the events that I have already posted as due dates, but the due date hasn't passed. Remember, things will not show up here until I post them. I post a due date. So all those things you saw on the calendar, I haven't posted those yet. They will not show up here until I post the due date, and then they will disappear after I do, after the due date is passed. And by the way, a second question is, I'm going to ask you, what's the answer to the math question? And the math question is, and you're going to write down the answer. The question is, what is 2 plus 3? So on your quiz, write that down and you'll get that question as well. Continuing on, your grades are found under the My Grades tab, Student Resources. This is a page that's built by Angelina College itself. It lists an enormous number of resources, 2 of which would be particularly noteworthy is the Tutor Me link. Tutor Me was mentioned earlier. I'll also put that link on the web page that I showed. And let's see what else. Also, you probably won't need the bookstore for this course anyway. If you have to drop a course, if you need to drop this course for whatever reason, there is a new procedure, and so it has now been posted. And again, that is on the Student Resources tab. There's also yet another link to Tutor Me here. Let's see what that looks like. I've never clicked on it before. Right. Okay, so that is a third party, and it takes you there. Blackboard Help and Course Messages. Course Messages basically is a roll-up for the types of announcements that are going to be made, I think. Okay, now let's look at the other stuff right quick. Online calendar. Again, I have a link to the online calendar. The sign-up sheet. I have a quick link to the sign-up sheet. The course website, which has everything on it. I have a link to that. Let's see. Clean that up a little bit. Okay, now let's talk about where you find the subject matter. It's going to be in modules 0 through 4 and lab A through lab Z. And let me show you what that looks like on a graph. So if you go back to the landing page, the Start Here page, you'll see an overview of the entire course. And there's your 3 midterm exams. There's your final exam. And then we have a module 0. 0 stands for orientation. 1 stands for all of the material that we're going to need to be successful in exam 1, 2, 3 respectively. And module 4 represents information for the final exam. So that's your exams. And then there's each of your labs listed. And we've already briefly from the course grading scheme, you could see the different components that go in to make that grade. Again, 75% of your grade will be made along that line, and 25% of your grade will be made along that line. Let's look at each of those in a little more detail. Let's see, going back, module 0. Again, that is the orientation module. You're going to read all of the material on here. A lot of that explains what's in this video, basically. And then you're going to take the orientation quiz, and then you're going to take a little honor lock quiz. Right, and honor lock, this is just to make sure that that exam protocol works on your computer. That's very important because that is, as we say, a requirement for taking this course. And then once you're done with module 0, the orientation material, you are then ready to move to all the material you need to be successful on exam 1. And all of that is found within module 1, which covers chapter 1, 2, 3. Within each of those chapters, there's what you need to read, there are lecture videos, and then there is a homework assignment. So for example, chapter 2, there's what you're going to read, there's related videos, and then you will have a homework assignment. Let me click on that. And your homework will look like that. And then you're just going to begin your homework by answering those questions. And you will do that for every chapter of each module. At the end of each module, some or most of them will be a quiz. And this is essentially a mock exam. And then once you've taken that quiz, it will always be due the day before the exam. You do not see an exam here because I have not posted the exam, but this is where it will show up in the exam 1 folders. Oh, by the way, since I'm here, let's look at the exam information and instructions. That you're going to need to go to the external website, exam info, and it is quite lengthy here actually. And that's because that information is needed. Let me hit some of the high points of this. First of all, you will be allowed to, your exams will be done online. So you will, in Blackboard, you will take the test each exam. You will also be allowed 2 external websites. One of those will be an exam cheat sheet. So you're going to want to bookmark that. And by the way, a link to the Gen Chem cheat sheet is at the bottom of just about every page you go to on this website. Right, so you will get this cheat sheet as you're practicing and reading and going through your general studies. I highly recommend that you bookmark this and refer to it often because this is what you will get on the exam. So if you're looking up atomic weights, I would highly advise you to do it from here. Why? Because that's what you will be doing on an exam. Also, I do have a section here about what's not on this cheat sheet, just in case you're wondering. So if you're looking for one of these items, don't look on the cheat sheet. It ain't here. I don't have you memorize much for this course. I do have you memorize a few things. And by the way, this is not much memory for an entire course, but I do want you to know a few things. Memorize a few things. Right. Okay. So, and this is all indexed too. So this is for Gen Chem 1 and Gen Chem 2. So don't panic if you see some stuff that looks unfamiliar or that we haven't covered in the course. It's probably information for Gen Chem 2. The second external website you will be able to access during an exam is the online calculator. Handheld calculators and no other electronic devices are allowed during an exam. You must use this calculator. So, you need to practice when you use your homework. You need to be well versed with this. As a quick aside, many of you over your careers will have to take standardized exams. Most standardized exams now are done online. This is the #1 used calculator that corporations giving standardized exams online use. So it's a very good soft skill set for you to know how to use at any rate. But regardless, it is required for this course. So you will get this cheat sheet and you will get this calculator. And this is the only calculator, again, that you will have available for you on the during an exam. And by the way, the third question I'm going to ask you on the intro is what calendar are you... Strike that. What calculator are you allowed to use? And you're going to write the word DSMOS. You're allowed to use the Desmos calculator. Yes, DSMOS is the answer to question number 3. Right. Okay, so when you have an exam, those 2 things will be allowed. Let's see what else. And this basically explains to you that you're allowed, it reiterates those rules of what you're allowed and what you're not allowed. And it goes into great detail. In case you've got any questions, there's explicit sections on what you can do and what you can't do. You're expected to know those items and to read them. Right, let's see what else. There's all sorts of information about honor log, how to load it, how to use it. This is a little bit outdated, but here's how, when you take an exam, what I would recommend you do. You open up your exam. You go ahead before you even start and open up a tab to your cheat sheet, and go ahead and open up a tab to your calculator. This one is available within, so I've kind of removed this one. So open these 3 tabs when you start, so that under the pressure of exam you don't get lost. Okay. And these are the only 3 right here that that honor lock will let you open. Any rate. Right. Exam integrity. Let's talk about this. Don't cheat. I know some classes are easy to cheat, but I don't care. I want you to know I review every exam for every student. I review it carefully for integrity violations. I've taken a lot of care to tell you about don't cheat, what you can and can't do. And I also list, so there's no misunderstanding, none, what the penalties for cheating are, down to me telling you exactly what's in the Angelina College. Over the past 3 semesters, I think I've either kicked out of class, given Fs, or referred them to the Academic Integrity Committee of Angelina 11 students. If you cheat, I'm going to catch you, and that's not the time to ask for mercy. You need to realize I'm going to catch you, and it's going to be painful. Special note to anybody who needs this course to graduate: don't cheat, because you will not be out of this class and you won't graduate. It's very easy. Just don't cheat, because you may not get away with just getting an F. If you go to the academic integrity, they will review whether they need to put you on probation or kick you out of school, and you lose a lot more than just this class. So, not as a threat, but you have been warned very explicitly. I review the exams looking for any integrity violations at all. And I will document it, and I will prosecute it. Okay, fair enough. And it's all right there of what the possible penalties are going to be, and I don't mean to belabor the point, but it takes a lot of work for me to prosecute somebody that cheats. But I want you to know, I go to the trouble as long as it takes. And I have yet to have even one student even try to protest, because the information is going to be overwhelming, and Angelina College is going to have it. And depending on what happens, it may or may not become a part of your academic record. So the easiest thing is to just be honest and take the class and do as good as you can, and honestly let the chips fall wherever they may. Okay. And by the way, that goes for this little quiz we're going to take. So I've given you 3 little questions that are embedded here. Don't go telling somebody that didn't watch the video what the answers are. If you do and I catch you, that's just like cheating on an exam to me. So be careful about the cheating and the sharing of information which shouldn't be shared. I do prosecute every event I can prove. Okay. Right. So let's move on to something a little happier than that, I suppose. Right. So that's Module 1. We've been down through that. So that's everything. So you'll have chapters broken into segments, and then you'll have a module quiz, which is a essentially a mock exam. And then you'll go to the exam folder, and you will take the exam itself, and you will do it without cheating. Yes, okay. And then you'll repeat the process for Module 2, and then you'll repeat the process for Module 3. That'll cover all 9 chapters. And then Module 4, I said, relates to the final exam. And when you take the final exam, it will be posted here. And then I do already have the final exam review sheet posted. So if you want, you can kind of look ahead and you can kind of tell exactly what's going to be covered in this class, because there's the material that you will know by the end of the class. Okay, So let's see what's next. Okay, and the labs, lab A is the orientation lab. And so it's basically you're going to take a safety quiz and then you're going to do an upload assignment. That's just merely a task where you're going to upload a file, and that's going to prove to me that you have the capabilities to upload in a PDF format as is required. So this is kind of a check. The first real lab is the density lab. The way the labs will work is I will open them up. You will look at the task list. You will find out what you need to do, and then you will watch the video. And then after that, for each lab, you will have a quiz to take, and then you will have an assignment. And that assignment is basically to take the data, to complete the post-lab questions, to scan it in a PDF format, and to upload it. And then you'll repeat that process for most of these labs. As an aside, there will be a couple of labs that are special assignments that won't follow a video, but you will be told about those as the semester goes. Okay, that covers most everything, but I do want to go back to the course web page here and go over some of the information there. Primarily this resources page. This is where most of the course content material that you're going to need lives, in addition to the textbook. So let's look at that. Okay, first is lecture notes. I have, for all 9 chapters you're going to cover, posted my lecture notes for a class that I taught in the past when I taught this. So you're actually going to see the notes that were, the slides that were used in class, as well as the markings that I made during class, so you can kind of see what was emphasized. So you see the original slide that I had, and you see it after it was kind of boogered up. So you can see the etchings and what was talked about in class. You have, before this course even starts, my full list of lecture notes that have been marked up. But wait, there's more. There's PowerPoint slides. This is open source. At least 3 different universities have professors that made PowerPoint slides for these very 9 chapters. And so I made links to each of those. For example, this instructor from Rice University on Chapter 7, you can download that. And then let's see, and lo and behold, there we go. There's this person's PowerPoint slides for Chapter 7. Okay, if you don't like that one, you can try the person from Montgomery College. Let's see what theirs looks like. So it looks a little different. They got the same textbook, but lo and behold, different slides. And if you don't like the way they do it, University of Connecticut had somebody post some slides, and so I guess you could use theirs. Okay, so there is, not only is the information there, but it's presented in form of lecture notes, 3 different PowerPoint varieties. But what I'm going to show you next is really, to me, the most important thing. Because this chemistry, especially chemistry, physics, and calculus, are kind of like sports. You're just going to get good if you practice it. That's, you can do all the head knowledge you can want, but it makes a difference between driving, flying an airplane in a simulator versus actually getting in the cockpit and flying the thing. You need to really practice. And so what I have is end of chapter exercises with answers. And so if you go online, libretext.org has this textbook online. You can go there and you can go to different chapters, and they have an end of chapter exercise, normally marked, I think, with an E for exercises. So let's go back, since we use chapter 7, chemical bonding exercises. You can click on that, and it'll say, I can read through there, ionic bonding. So there's question 7, 1.1, and there's the solution to it. And there's some questions, and it'll give you solutions to it, and you can practice and practice and practice, which is what you need to do. If you're going to be successful at chemistry, physics, or calculus, I can tell you it is almost impossible without a whole lot of practice. Okay, in your manual also, and so this is end of chapter exercises. Okay, also in the manual, not on the end of each chapter, but at the end of the textbook, are some chapter. No, this is the same thing. The end of chapter questions, put another way. Sorry about that. And so these are all 9 chapters, and this is called the student solution manuals. And what they do is they give you the questions, and then they pretty in detail explain what the answers are. And this is actually a little easier to follow, I think, than the one I showed you before. But at any rate, the drawback to this is it's just the odd numbered ones. But you know what? If you work through, let's say 61, and you just do the odd numbers, I think you'll probably have it down. Okay, so this would be where I taken the course. That would probably be my number 1 choice for studying, and that would be my tied for number 1 or a close number 2 resource. So there we go. That's everything you need to be successful. Okay, right quick, let's see what else is on here. Chem 1411 blog. This is kind of a build as I go. Students would ask questions, so let's see. I have a comment on Lab B. I've got something on Lab C. Oh, a lot of stuff on Lab C. That may be a hard lab. Lab E, I've got some information in Lab G. So I don't have something for every lab, but as I post these things, they show up. So you may want to just kind of remember that it's here, especially when you're doing one of these 4 labs. I would certainly come here and look at this right after I did the lab before I moved any further. B, C, E, and G so far on the lab blog. Let's see what else we got here on the 1411 page. Again, this is a shortcut to honor lock because it's so important. And let's see what else we have. The course map, you've already seen that. We had another link to that. Okay, and maybe the last thing here is called a lab file name checklist. As you do each lab, you're going to have to upload it, and you're going to have to give that file a name. You have to use the correct specified file name. The correct specified file name is found in the file name checklist. Yes, and so I have that posted on the web and through that link. You will upload it with that name. So when you upload your content for let's see, Lab F, you will call it capital F1 capital R report. Exactly that. As a quick aside, sometimes it automatically appends with the PDF. If it does that, it's okay. But it has to be exactly this. So it's very persnickety the way you have to do it. And the reason is, if you ever do anything outside of college, getting grant money, work for a corporation, they will have very tight specifications on information that you handle and you transmit. Normally that is very specific. And so we're going to get used to doing that now in this class by you putting the correct name on any file. And with that, I think we're about done with the orientation overview information, and let me once again welcome you to Chemistry 1411. We'll be talking later. Bye now.